I was in Italy. It was on the cusp. February 28th to the 1st of March 2025. That's when it happened. I almost lost my life. I was in a not so big city in Italy. It was a city, or is a city, where there is an immigration problem. Guess what? There were not really any foreigners there, except those people who are trying to immigrate into that part of Italy. Other than that, you didn't find any travelers. There was me. And there was this other guy. He spoke on his phone way too loud. I didn't like it. It was anywhere between 11 and midnight. And I was like, what the hell is that guy doing? I cannot accept this. I go take a shower and I come back. And by that time, about 1 hour has passed. I tell him to knock it off. I tell him to stop. He doesn't. Instead, he gets really aggressive and really angry at me for whatever reason. I react to it by mimicking and mirroring his energy and body language and reaction. Essentially, if people treat you like shit, you need to treat them like shit too, but 10 times and 100 times more is what I'm trying to say. He stands up and he wants to fight me. I'm like, what the fuck? I just told him to just not talk on his phone there and to take his phone call outside. He didn't. And guess what? One thing leads to another and I get angry. And since he already has shown clearly by his energy or with his energy and with his body language and expressing of intentions verbally and also non-verbally that he wants to fight me and attack me and beat me up, at one point I was like, you know what, I'll just grab this motherfucker. I'll just grab him and get his ass outside and throw him onto the fucking ground and yell at him and tell him, dude, you asked for this. You fucking asked for this. I fucking told you to not try me. I fucking told you. You wanted this. I didn't want this. I just wanted you to do one thing. To take your phone and take your fucking phone call outside. But maybe a little rewind, a little throwback into the past to who I was before all of this happened. Because I was a very different person before all of this happened. Essentially, I hate to say it, but I was a pretty boy complex who took his self-esteem from how many women he slept with. And people didn't really take me serious. They played with me. They played with my emotions. I didn't enjoy it, but people did it, and trust me, they had a lot of fun. But I didn't know any better back then. Sorry about the noise in the background. I'm in Korea recording this, and Koreans are very loud. Let me take a look at my notes because I had to actually write all of this down. So every once in a while, you're gonna see me look to my left here at my notes because memorizing all of this is actually impossible. I used to drink a lot, barely hit the gym, consume too much sugar. I tried to get along with everyone. I used to drink way too much coffee. I remember when I was in Greece, and there was this Greek guy, and he was like, my God, you're crazy, dude. Like, you drink 4 cups of coffee or 3 cups of coffee a day. Like, I drink 1, maybe 2, and that's it. Yeah, I used to overconsume women, girls. Huh? Wait, women, girls? Like, yeah, women and girls, it's not the same thing. Women, 30 plus. Girls, 18 to 29. Let me make that very clear. I was very attention-seeking. I was very narcissistic. It was not a surprise that people just couldn't take me serious. I had a puffy face, full of water, full of fat. It sucked. But the worst part is... Seriously, the worst part is not even that. The worst part is there were still a lot, like there were still a lot of women and girls that were interested in me. These same girls are not interested in me anymore these days. I wonder why. I used to think in very weird categories. Let me explain. I used to idealize people based on where they were from and where I was assuming that they are from. Oh, this person is or could be from there. And based on my experiences, that means that we are gonna get along. I'm sorry to tell you, but all of that is fucking bullshit because it didn't mean shit, honestly. There's so much more that plays into it, whether you're gonna get along with somebody or not. It's not just their ethnicity, it's how they were raised, by whom they were raised, and where, country, city, state, if you live in the US. And so many other factors, mindset, political opinions, and so many other things. It's really obnoxious what type of man I used to be. Anyway. And honestly, you need to sort out your emotions. And that's what I started doing. I went to Malta at one point in my life, but more about that later. Because in Malta, that's where the massive shift started. The man I am now. You know where all that started? All of it. Like the mindset shift. I mean, of course in Italy, but the mindset shift didn't start in Italy when that trauma happened. Of which I'm going to speak way more about in this video, of course. That's the central theme of this video. The mindset shift up here, where everything started to transform forever. And I cannot go back to who I once was. I'm a totally different man now, and I'm happy with the man I am now. Or I should say, I'm happy which type of man I am now. All of that mindset shift that started up here, all of it began in Malta. Years before all of that, I had a mentor. His name, Orlando. To be exact, Orlando Owen. He's doing workshops, he has online programs, 1 or 2 ebooks. Every once in a while he's giving live events. He's doing transformational work. He was my mentor essentially from 2020 to 2023. I learned a lot from him. He talked to me about women, things like inner game, like how you carry yourself, how you think about yourself and the world. Develop a strong frame as in like the glasses you wear and how you see the world and yourself and women, your own masculinity and stuff like that. And he's doing like spiritual work, transformational work with men, a man's coach. So yeah, basically he was my mentor for a few years. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you one thing. All of that was just preparation. It was preparation for my own journey ahead in life, the journey I'm on now, traveling the world and exposing those things that are going on in people's minds, in people's psyche, social dynamics, dating dynamics, and all those other things. You've seen my work, so I'm not going to explain that. And I remember a few years ago, like 4 years ago, just a few months before I decided, hey, I'm going to start to travel the world, something interesting happened. Something really interesting. The country I was living in back then, Switzerland. Yeah, I'm American, but I was born in Europe, okay? So I grew up there. I didn't grow up in America, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately, I don't know. Maybe it was good that I didn't grow up in the US. All of a sudden I was a foreigner in the country I grew up in. The women all of a sudden lost all interest. People started to speak to me in English all of a sudden. I was like, dude, like, why are you all speaking in English to me? But even worse, or maybe not worse, but even more weird, was when I started to speak English all of a sudden to people. Because before people started to speak to me in English, I actually started to speak in English to people. Let me explain. I remember going to this bubble tea shop, or whatever you want to call it. 2022. I started traveling in March 2023. So now at the time of recording, it's May 2026. And there was this Asian girl, and I'm like speaking in English to her. And I'm trying to like understand. I'm trying to like really understand why I was speaking in English to her. Fast forward, it was not the only experience. Then I remember shortly after, I went to a kebab spot, or kebab restaurant. Feels weird to say because it's definitely not a restaurant. So I went to a kebab spot, and there is some Spanish guy there, and I start to speak in English and Spanish to him, and he's like, why are you saying that word in Spanish? I'm like, oh yeah, because it's like sounds cool, like I like Spanish. Turns out I really like Spanish, because then years later, guess what? 1.5 years later, I was in Spain, and I was living there for 4 months, and I started to speak actually quite good Spanish very fast. I learned Spanish with my back then driver, not personal driver, like he was the driver for everyone in the accommodation I was staying at. And he's from South America, Uruguay. So I learned Spanish with him every day, bit by bit. Every time he would drive me somewhere, those 5 or 10 minutes essentially became like conversational mastery in Spanish, and I started to understand Spanish quite a lot very fast. I didn't become quite good in speaking it, but anyway, how fucked up is that? Fast forward. So then I start traveling at one point, and I'm looking back at all the things that my former mentor has taught me, and I'm like, whoa, okay, whoa, damn, okay, it's gonna be quite a journey. And with every month or every few months, this like fact would become stronger. Now after almost 3.5 years of traveling the world, I'm like, my God, wow. Essentially all the internal work I've done before, stripping away the emotional layers where I didn't feel comfortable in my skin, As a man, I felt really insecure. I was afraid of everyone. I was afraid of women, of those really tough guys, rednecks and whatever, and really muscular guys, 6'3", 6'5", or to use the European system, 1 meter 90, 1 meter 95, or whatever, 120 kilos or 250 pounds and whatever. Construction workers and whatever. I didn't feel comfortable around them. But look at me now. I'm a very different guy now. My life wasn't easy. But having to realize at age 24, I'm 25 now, but I remember when I was 24, I think freshly after turning 24, I remember how painful it must have been for me back then to realize, whoa. That was the moment where I realized, essentially, oh, that's what it was for. So all the previous work, being in workshops, having worked through all of the online programs my former mentor has, having read one or two of his ebooks, or how many he has, I don't even know how many he has, and having done so much journaling and all the other things, his tools, emotional tools he equipped us with. It was so painful to realize that was 10%, basically. 10%. And that the other 90% are basically the life and journey I'm on now. Can you believe how fucked up that is? To realize that you as a teenager, you read books, you study subliminals. These are essentially the things I've done as a teenager. Reading books, studying women and their behavior, how to get successful with women, how to go talk to women and stuff like that. Listening to podcasts and stuff. Joe Rogan, not really. I never really, for some reason, I'm one of those guys. I'm yeah, Joe Rogan, whatever. It's not that I don't like him. It's just, I don't know. I'm indifferent to Joe Rogan. I'm not oh, his content is so amazing. I'd rather listen to Terrence McKenna or whatever his name is. This guy with the magic mushrooms and stuff. Way more interesting. And way more useful in my opinion. And I've done journaling back then already, as a teenager. And then a few years later, I, so to say, met my mentor, my former mentor, I should say. And then my own work started. Observing people, their behavior, and all those other things. Taking lots of notes, observing women, and seeing deep into the female psyche, female psychology and stuff, And many, many other things. When I got so overwhelmed, I was like, fuck. I need a pivotal shift. And it started. I realized, okay, there are certain things that need to change. I need to step up my financial game. I need to build multiple streams of income. Okay, done. I need to practice more discernment, meaning who I am willing to talk to. I need to learn to read people faster than elite soldiers even can. And many, many other things, many other tasks. I basically realized, now to go back to Malta, April 2025, I had fun, was partying, not drinking, but partying. And then about a month later, around mid-May, something shifted. For some reason, girl after girl rejected me, was not interested. A guy like me, look at me, I'm handsome. I'm a really good looking guy, so I have a high body count and It was weird. Something made click back then, just like this. At that time, I don't know if it was a few days after or before, I've done a magic mushroom trip. A magic truffle trip, which is similar, not as strong and not as effective, but it's good stuff. It's really it's psychedelic. It was not my first trip, obviously. I had a few before, 2 or 3 trips before. So this was like my 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th trip. Everything shifted overnight. What does that mean? I used to be the type of guy that would wait, try to get along with everyone. That was kind of symbolic. Let me explain. I would sit around and be like, waiting on other people. I would be waiting on other people. How was that expressed? Waiting on other people. Or for other people. Adjust to their plans. It sucked. I missed out on so many things. On so many things. I remember the beginning of my travels, what I've done. Czech Republic, the first country I ever visited. I would eat cheap food for $2-3. I could have spent $1 or $2 more and get proper food, healthy food. Healthy food doesn't need to be expensive. Yeah, in America, yeah. I know. It's true. American food is terrible. If you want to eat healthy in America, you need to make a lot of money. Yeah. Anyway. But then something shifted overnight. All of a sudden, it was literally like as if somebody pressed a button. Like, I was not putting up with people's shit anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm done waiting. I'm not gonna wait on people anymore. I have my goals. I have things I'm after. I want to achieve things in life. So to each and anybody and everybody that is trying to waste my time by trying to make me adjust to their schedule or plans or what they want to do, I essentially told all of them to fuck off. And the level of freedom I've gained from that, it's insane. I get to do so many more things. Being productive, less stress, less conflict in my life, and many other benefits. How did it start out? I went out. It was May. A Spanish guy and me. And it was only a few days or maybe a week after that trip. And I think I remember telling him the exact words. I was like, dude, I have my boundaries. I have respect. I have self-respect. I have my goals. Sorry about the noise. It's Korea, it's Seoul. I don't like this country. It's chaotic here. I'm going to Japan soon, so... Way better. Japan is way better. Anybody that likes Korea, I don't know why you like Korea. How can you like Korea? Anyway, your life, not mine. I don't care. So, guess what? I told him, I think, the exact words. I have goals. And, I cannot wait on people. You need to respect people's time. Him being non-American, he was trying to talk himself out, and this and that. I was like, dude, honestly, fuck off. No, seriously, fuck off, I told him. I'm not willing to listen to it. He's like, no, but wait, but I'm like, no, fuck off. I said more, but I'm gonna keep it at that. To go back into the past. Why this shift was so symbolic? My past was already very difficult. I remember surviving a shamanic tobacco overdose, a very heavy overdose. It's called Ambil. I've taken way too much. It has nicotine in it. And I remember, I think, getting a panic attack. Heart attack. I think it was like the second one I had. I was like 19 or 20. The first one I had it when I was like 18, 19, like maybe a year before. This time I was like 19, 20, 21. 18 to 21 were possibly my most painful years, to a degree. At the same time, around age 19, 20, I was hurt deeply. There was a girl. She's hurt me brutally. She's ripped my heart out. About 2 years before, also a girl, she's hurt me brutally. I was really the exact opposite of what I'm now, basically. Not masculine, not rough. I didn't have an edge. But then I changed. It took me years to get over it. Both girls. It took me years. It wasn't easy getting over it. It was painful. Yeah. It was very painful. Anyway. So, I was in Malta. And everything started to shift. My mindset about success, time, myself, boundaries, respect, people, everything just was different all of a sudden. The way I carried myself, my energy was just boom, you know. It was about 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months, like 9 weeks after that traumatic incident. I'm so sorry about all this noise. I'm really sorry. But Koreans are terrible people. No manners, loud, obnoxious. I'm so sorry. But I need to produce this video. So. And yeah. It was 9 weeks after this traumatic incident where I almost lost my life. So what happened back then? Picture this. Picture this. Picture this guy's reaction. I grab him and he starts punching me. That guy is a kid. Most men are kids. They're just living in an adult body, but they have the mindset of a 5-year-old. He didn't like the fact that I, how should I say it? That I basically played dad. He didn't like it. Nobody likes this in this generation. And this is the exact reason this fucking generation sucks so much. Especially people born after 2006. After 2010, sorry. Terrible. He starts punching me. He starts throwing punches. 2 free punches. I get knocked down. For reference, my height, European metrics, 1m83, maybe 1m84. So it's just under 6'1". Just under 6'1". Him, a little taller, maybe 6'2.5". What is it, 1m88 or what? 1m89. A little heavier than me. Him, 185 pounds. Me, lightweight, 160 pounds. He doesn't stop there. At those 2 free punches, I get knocked down. He continues, hits me on the head. Here, the left side of my face, totally fucked up. Here. You see this area? Yeah. That's where I had a surgery. Because I had a surgery. He fucked me up so bad because I thought, oh, he cannot fight. This is just some average Joe. For the record, I have about 11 or 12 years of experience in martial arts. The only mistake that I made was to underestimate him. Because trust me, in a street fight, an amateur is going to be more dangerous than a skilled mixed martial artist. And every fighter is going to tell you this. I'm not a fighter. I'm a practitioner of the, mixed martial arts, MMA. I do boxing too. I come from a Muay Thai and Wing Chun and Krav Maga background. So, yeah. These are the things I started out with. So this guy, I'm on the ground, fucks up my face. Hits me on the head. My head, like here, around up there, maybe a little lower. Head cut. They take me to the hospital. Police arrives. I had to wait 4 hours. 4 hours before they even took care of it. I lost like 1 or 2 ounces of blood. My head was spinning. I thought I'm gonna die. I could have died. I could have fucking died. He punched me, 12 times on the head. 12 times on the head. And his fists were quite large. And he hammer fisted me. He didn't punch like, hook style, just the first 2 or 3 punches. The other punches, hammer fists. Straight fucking hammer fists. 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Don't ask me how I survived it. And if you think this story is not gonna get more painful and not more scary and not more terrifying, then I have to tell you one thing. Think again. Many things started to shift. Certain girls started to annoy me. Stress everywhere. I felt overwhelmed. What should I have done? Exactly, retreat. And that's exactly what I did. I started to retreat from everything very fast. From girls, from people, from party people, from loud environments, from anything and everything and everyone that could potentially mess up my peace and healing process. In a matter of days and weeks, and maybe 3-4 months, my life was totally different. Totally different. And the first time it showed how seriously different my life was. That was in Egypt, but more about that in a second. Back again to the past. I remember being 18, almost 19. My past was not easy, like I said. At that time in my life, it was just after my parents got divorced. Yeah. And I had panic attacks every day, man. 3 to 5 panic attacks every day for 1 year. Put together the fact that the years before were not easy. I got hurt by this one girl that I never even dated. I fell in love with her and I cried and whatever and suffered for months or 2 years. That's the fucking loser I was. How could one possibly fall in love with a girl you never kissed, never dated even, and then cry and suffer for 2 years? I don't understand it, but that's who I was. You don't need to understand it either, because neither will I. I will never understand this. There is many things I understand, or am able to puzzle puzzle out the code, riddles, whatever, but this, no. I would have more success. I think, solving Cicada 3301 or becoming the president of the United States before I would understand what the fuck was going on with me back then when I was 17. I was 17 when this girl hurt me. 17! I was not 12, I was 17. And this girl got so under my skin. Skin I didn't have. And then, yeah, the panic attacks. And then the other girl that hurt me, which made me suffer for another 2 years or more. Even while I was traveling the first year, then I got after it. Not after it. Then I got, I had my, emotional closure in the sense of, okay, I got over it. Or whatever you want to call it. It took a year of traveling to get over it, over her. I was dating her. We were dating for 2 months. The other girl, we were not dating at all. And then put also the fact into the equation, that I had the pleasure to survive 2 heart attacks. One, because of all the overwhelm from emotional distress from years of suffering. My dad and mom got divorced. That's when the first heart attack or whatever it was happened. To this day, I don't know what it was. Then all the arguing I had going on every day with my mom, or almost every day arguing, because my mom is emotionally dysfunctional. She's suffering from borderline or histrionic disorder, or I don't know what it is, but it is the worst, absolute worst mental illness you could have. And it's more women having it than men. There is men having it too, but it's 0.5 of men. 0.5% of men, and women it's 2-3%, 5%, I don't know. I think it's histrionic, not borderline. And histrionic is way worse than borderline. Then put on top of that my miserable school years, where I was not really bullied, but people tried to bully me. It just didn't really work. Put on top of that the fact that I grew up in Europe, in Switzerland, in a miserable environment where people try telling me, yeah, don't be like this, don't be like that. Yeah, you think you're this king, and you think you are this super confident guy. You're too confident. You're arrogant. You're this, calling me names left and right. This is 5% of what happened in the past. Long before I started traveling, my life was terrible already. Is my life still terrible? I don't think so. Not really. I'm looking around me and I'm like, hey, I'm actually fucking awesome. But people suck. Not all people, but most people. Essentially, I told myself, because I was a piece of shit back then. I was not a good person. I was full of myself. Narcissistic, kind of like a hippie, smiling too much and just wanting to sleep with every girl, thinking thinking like I could have every girl and stuff like that. After that night, back then in Italy, I've sworn one thing, an oath. I said, okay dude, become hard to kill. And I became hard to kill. Now you probably want to know the life after. How is the life after? After all of this happened. Okay. I'm gonna tell you. Picture this. Everything is normal in your life, but then something changes. In my case, everything changed. Everything. Nothing was the same anymore. I didn't feel the same. I didn't look at women the same. I didn't look at people the same. I didn't look at life the same. I didn't treat people the same way. I didn't carry myself the same way. I walked different. I talked different. I lived different. I thinked, or was thinking different. The first 2 days after the incident, I couldn't talk. I was in my bed for 2 days. I couldn't talk. I was silent. I couldn't talk for 2 days. Can you imagine that? Sorry, I just heard some noise. This is the reality. For 2 days, I couldn't talk. I was in my bed, staring at the ceiling. I couldn't talk. Because I couldn't realize what happened. I wouldn't accept what happened. I was like some guy just fucking almost killed me. He beat me up. I lost. I almost died. And I knew I almost died. I knew I was close to dying. Literally. I'm not talking metamorphosis, death and rebirth, transformation. I'm being literal. I almost died. Why? First of all, because of how bad he beat me up. And second of all, because of how long they waited before first treatment. Because long before the surgery, what they did first was to fix the head wound. It took him like 4 hours to wait. 4 hours, I lost blood quite a bit. Head was spinning. I could have died because of that. My life was not the same after. Every once in a while I look back at that night and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I don't know how I survived. But knock on the fucking wood, I fucking survived. Weeks after passed. I was on the train. And it was not the first time it happened. Just 10 days after it happened, actually, for the first time. It was my left eye that was so fucked up, so bad. In fact, my right eye was like basically untouched. Blood spills out my left eye in a bathroom in Italy. I freaked out. I freaked the fuck out. I actually fucked, I'm gonna lose my vision, my sanity. I fucked, I'm going insane. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Yeah. And do you get to experience this? Fucking Navy SEALs and Delta on Death Group 6, you all fucking wannabes and shit. Yeah, you don't get to experience this fucking shit. Yeah, cause you all need your fucking stupid fucking guns and uniforms. Nobody cares about your fucking guns and uniforms. I fucking don't. I have fucking military ancestry. I have military ancestry leading back hundreds and thousands of fucking years, and I don't give a fuck about how fucking tough you think you are. This shit is gonna break every fucking man. Every fucking man is gonna... This... It fucked me up bad. And then I was in the train. Weeks after. It happened again. It kept happening. Sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. Blood kept spilling out my left fucking eye. I was like, this is not good. I don't like this. There's fucking blood coming out of my left fucking eye. It's not good. I'm gonna lose my vision. I didn't lose my vision. I didn't lose it. I was such a clown in the past. But the type of man I am now, it's so different. I'll tell you a story. A guy from the Canadian, not American, Canadian Armed Forces. Tier 1 or Tier 2, I don't know. If you don't know what it means, look it up. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Well explained on Google, DuckDuckGo, or Ecosia, or whatever you want to use, whatever search engine suits your taste. He was definitely not a JTF2 assaulter. Or was he? Probably not. And I remember his nervous system getting triggered. I remember him getting concerned about his safety in my presence. That guy was in Afghanistan. Can you imagine a guy who was in Afghanistan get scared because of your presence? Because he basically felt what the hell you went through. That's the level of dangerous I'm talking about. That I am now. I wasn't always like this. I was a whack, lame guy in the past, man. People took so much from me. You have no idea. They took so many things from me. Girls, peace, money, advice, time, energy. They never paid back. They never paid back. But guess what? These days they pay back. 'Cause I earned my place in heaven. I earned it. At one point in my life, I just had to realize what piece of shit I am. If you would have seen me 1.5 years ago, you would not recognize me. I was a miserable person. I was a bad person. I was bad with money, spending too much and stuff like that. I was not disciplined. I remember when I quit drinking and weed too. But first I quit alcohol. I quit drinking April 2024, more than 2 years ago. I quit drinking. Then about 8 months later, or 10 months later, 9 months later, whatever, I quit weed. Then about 7 months or 8 months later, I reduced my intake of coffee and sugar, big time. I went from 4 cups of coffee down to 1 or 2 cups of coffee. So we're talking, I went down from 64 ounces to just like 10 ounces of coffee a day. Or caffeine, down from 700 milligrams of caffeine to maybe 150 milligrams of caffeine. And just to say some numbers, I don't know the exact numbers. Caffeine, you know, because like it depends, like you drink Robusta, you drink Arabica, or mixed coffee, you know what I'm saying? It depends, you know? So, yeah, what's up? And things started to change. More energy, I became productive for the first time, and all of a sudden, all that fucking puffiness in my face was gone. I lost weight, a shit ton of weight. I lost like 8 kg or 20 pounds or whatever. It was all water weight. I used to have man boobs a bit, not much. It was all estrogen. No, what? Estrogen. Look it up. Okay? Look a little bit into endocrinological research and nutrition and diet and fitness. It's gonna help you. Look a little into it. Okay? Thank you. And then I was in Malaysia. And I mentioned productivity. There I've seen the first results about me having become productive for the first time, but about that later. First, let's speak about Egypt, because I mentioned Egypt quite a while ago. I was in Egypt, and for some reason, I remember when I was in Aswan in Egypt. Aswan, I said. Okay? I was there, and for the first time ever, something really interesting happened. Normally, I would get agitated around, like, you know, party people. This time, I was not around party people because just months before, I gave up on partying. I stopped partying in Malta in May 2025. So at this time, we're speaking of the timeline of, what was it, August 2025. So 3 months later, essentially, if I'm not mistaken. There I was in Aswan in Egypt. I didn't stay for long. I stayed like 3.5, 4 weeks. I was there, and me and this other dude, the accommodation owner, we were staying on the so to say, island or village side, sorry. Island because you take a ferry, so that's, why I'm saying island. It's not really an island, so to say, but whatever. We go to the city side and we went to grab some I think sugarcane juice. And guess what? Both of us got agitated. We got pissed off. I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell is going on, but I don't like these people. They're so loud. Do you feel what I feel? Do you remember when we were on the other side and we were both calm? And now we're here and all these motherfuckers are pissing me off because their energy is bad. He was like, dude, yeah, their energy is terrible. I want to get the fuck out of here as soon as possible. I'm like, yeah, me too. So we go do our thing, grab sugarcane juice. I think we ate some food. And then 1 hour after, not even, we left. We fucked off. We went back to the crib. And all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, do you feel that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm calm again. He's like, yeah, man, me too. I'm like, my God, I'm happy we left. What I'm trying to say is, can you imagine how much I started to hate people after that night, after that bullshit that happened to me? My nervous system needed so much healing, you have no idea. I essentially, at one point, just had to realize I cannot be around that many people, and it stretched out even further. First, it was this. Distancing myself a long, long time ago. Yeah, first, from alcohol, quitting it. Then weed. Then parties, saying no to it completely. Then hostels, saying no to them, saying no to guest houses, meaning not staying there. Not going at peak times to diners, restaurants, or even takeaway / to go / take out spots, or cafes, or whatever. Just not going at peak times because my nervous system couldn't take it. If there is somebody around me that was too excited, I wanted to beat the shit out of them because my nervous system interpreted it as a threat to respond to and to possibly hurt the person terribly, to not say worse. Do you understand what I'm fucking saying, man? This is the type of PTSD I developed, and you better not mess around with it. You understand? Do you understand me? Yeah? I'll tell you about the fucking story, kid. I remember being in Italy just 5 days after this fucking shit happened. Piece of shit. Fuck that guy. So I'll tell you about his story. Just maybe 5 days after that night in Italy. I was still in Italy. And there was this waiter. And you're gonna get scared now. You're gonna shit your fucking pants now, trust me. And there he was. There was that waiter. He made one micro movement. That micro movement was enough to send a reaction down my spine, right? No. It sent a reaction throughout my whole body. That I actually, partially, already reacted and partially attacked him. Let me explain. People with PTSD, especially in the early stages, and then in the later stages again, in the mid stage not that much. I think I'm speaking here from my own PTSD. It can differ from person to person. Just as a little idea. Certain movements, sounds, or anything that reminds us of what happened, it's gonna scare us. I'm gonna tell you a story from someone else after this too, to give you an idea how serious it is. Because you think this is like, yeah, it's just PTSD. It's be careful what be careful what the fuck you fucking say, because you don't know shit about PTSD. Americans do, but for the Europeans and all the other people who are not American who are watching this, just be fucking quiet, because you have no fucking idea how serious PTSD is, how dangerous it is to have PTSD. Not for me, but for you. You understand? It's more dangerous for you than it is for me, man. So be fucking careful, you understand? So he made his micro movement. I respond, I attack, and I stop myself the very last second before I actually even hit him. This is what happened. Yeah. Welcome to the PTSD life. It's not nice. Can you imagine how fast one's reflexes must be for that? Yeah. Unimaginable, unthinkable for you, because you live in this world of illusion and bullshit. You live in illusions, essentially. You don't live truthfully. And the moment I decided that I'm done with all that bullshit, with illusions and lies and deceit and deception, and that I really intend to live a truthful life according to the Lord, to the infinite creator spirit, to God, and that I am gonna obey him, that's where everything changed. Now to tell you a story. I met another guy once who also had PTSD. I had PTSD back then already. In fact, I've been living with PTSD ever since the age of 15, 18, 19. Not since that night, where I almost died, where I almost got killed. It just got like 10 and 100 times worse, or more intense and deeper that night. Okay, for the record. So I met this guy, elite soldier, ex or former elite soldier, tier 1, JSOC. Exact unit unknown. But he told me he was not in Delta, so he was probably 57th Ranger Regiment, or Regimen. Is it Regiment or Regiment? I'm not sure. Anyway, pardon me for the Rangers. Or maybe he was a SEAL Team 6 Red Squadron. Yeah, there is 2 units within Delta, within SEAL Team 6. The only Navy SEALs. The other ones are not real Navy SEALs. Okay. So, the only Navy SEALs you want to fear are the dudes from SEAL Team 6. Okay. Just to be clear. Not normal Navy SEALs. I wouldn't even call them Navy SEALs. I would just call them SEALs, not Navy SEALs. Okay? They're not Navy, they're SEALs. Navy, who is Navy? SEAL Team 6 is Navy. Other ones are not. The other ones are not. Am I clear? So this guy from Florida, he served 12 years. Or maybe he was in the 160th unit. I forgot the exact name. I think the 160th Squadron, whatever the hell that is. He served in the elite unit, whatever unit it exactly is, for 12 years. 15 years in the US Army. So after 3 years in the US Army, he switched. And guess what? I went out with him. I met his girlfriend. The guy was humble, the guy was chill. But then something happened. There was some guy in the bathroom. In that bar we were at. He was standing way too close to him. And this guy from Florida told him, like, dude, like, he told him 3, 4, 5 times, like, dude, do not come too close. You're standing too close. He didn't listen. And guess what? He fucking smacked him. Knockout. With a fucking slap. Reverse slap. Ottoman style. What? Ottoman style. Ottoman Empire style. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And guy is short as fuck. Guy is like 5'8", but 300 pounds on TRT. Testosterone level of over 900 nanograms per deciliter. Yeah. I didn't have any issue with that guy. He didn't have any issue with me. Tough guy, but humble. But do not mess with guys like that. Because they're gonna eat you like breakfast. Or for breakfast. These are the men I'm friends with. These are the men I'm friends with. And do you want to know the reason why you and I will never be friends? Yeah, you watching this too. I'll tell you why. Because you are a civilian. At one point in my life, I decided I'm not going to be friends anymore with civilians. Because civilians suck. Why? I'm going to tell you why. If you think I was not met with opposition and resistance when changing, you're wrong. I was met with a lot of opposition when I changed. My habits, my mindset, the way I live, the way I think, the way I carry myself. How many times did I hear in the past? For absolutely no reason. Oh yeah, America's not good. Oh yeah, man, yeah, I don't like America. Never asked for their fucking opinion. I remember going into a fucking cafe in Malta. It was April, or May. Yeah, May, not April. April. No. It was May. And I wasn't alone. Me and some dude from Australia. Him sounding different than me, obviously. Very and vastly and totally different. And there was this guy from the Middle East. For the record, not from Iran, but from somewhere else. India or whatever, or Egypt, I don't know. I'm ordering a cafe in there. A coffee. Yeah, I just mocked Europe. And the Italians. Anyway. And guess what? 1 or 2 minutes into the conversation, he asks me, so where are you from? I think that's how it went. Like, I don't remember the actual convo, but I think it was like this. Bear with me. It was a long time ago. More than a year ago. Or about a year ago, sorry. And he's like, America, yeah, America's not good. Do I look like I fucking care what the fuck you think about my country? Because I certainly don't give a fuck what the hell you think. And who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are for complaining about America? So one lesson learned was very fast. And whether that was after or before this magic truffle trip doesn't even matter, because I don't really remember. Because it's not that it doesn't matter, it matters. But either way, I learned my lesson. Most people outside of America suck. God showed me that most Americans are awesome. In some way, yeah. We do have a lot of miserable people in America too. But I would say less worse than the people outside of America, meaning Asia, South America, Australia, and Europe, and all the other miserable shit that's out there of walking zombies. Because people outside America, quite honestly, don't have any fucking vigilance, no environmental awareness, no sense of space and time, and how cues work. No sense of boundaries, no sense of self, no sense of self-respect, no respect for others, no empathy, no compassion, no moral compass, no ethics, no moral, no character, no integrity, no values, no self-worth. Or do they? Well, they just don't live it. They just decide to shovel down their self-esteem, self-worth, whatever you want to call it. Because, like, the collective matters so much more than the individual. Yeah, we see that in Korea, where I'm at now. And here people believe that the individual doesn't matter as much as the collective. And what's up? What's up, man? What has this always led to? It has always led to wars, whether religiously inspired or whether there were other motivations involved. That doesn't even matter, actually. Or does it? Yeah, it does. But the key thing is, it was always because of this collectivism, cultural Marxism, and all that bullshit, which is rooted in narcissism. Because all these people who are for the collective are actually narcissistic. You might believe, no, all those individualists. Wait. What did you say? Stop. You said individualists. These are one and the same people. Collectivism, individualism is one and the same thing. So do not put any fucking words in my mouth. Am I fucking clear? Because a person or somebody that aspires to undergo what the Greeks call katabasis, which means transformation of the self. Mr. Carl Gustav Jung calls it actualization. Is it self-actualization, I think. My pronunciation is a little off. Sorry about that. It's a fucking weird, stupid fucking word, so sorry about that. Bear with me, alright? Yeah, there is different terms, words, and ways to twist it around and whatever. You have playground, you understand? At the end of the day, it's just essentially becoming who you are meant to be. Some people maybe take it a little bit too far. Individualism. They all look the same. Punks. Redheads, or whatever you want to call them, wearing the same fucking t-shirts, and they look the same, and same piercings, same tattoos, same everything, like, say, same haircut, same hair color, and all that shit. This is narcissism. But people who actually practice self-actualization, who truly want to find out who the hell they are, this is not narcissism, but society tells you that's narcissism. That's one of the things I discovered and learned, that people basically will label you and point fingers at you if you have boundaries and self-worth. And if you say no, people will be like, this guy's narcissistic. This girl, this woman, this man is narcissistic. No, I'm not. I just don't like you. And I just told you, and that's why you don't like me. You get the point. I remember being in Hong Kong. I became so terrifyingly unfazed that not even a Chinese guy with a metal fucking baton yielding it at me, threatening to hit me and hurt me with it terribly. Not even that could scare me. Not even that could scare me. In fact, I scared him. Do you maybe understand now why even the toughest are afraid of me? Elite soldiers. Yeah, tier 1. Or was he tier 2? I don't know. But elite soldier. Yeah, tier 2 is elite too, but tier 1 is like the real elite. Because tier 2 is special forces. Tier 1 is special operations forces. You don't see green berets and whatever, all that stuff. That's, it's toys, okay? Whereas tier 1 is adults. You don't see SF guys, special forces guys, green berets and whatever. And normal SEALs, not Navy SEALs, but normal SEALs. You don't see them in getting deployed really into dangerous missions as much, if at all. That's the hardcore reality of being special forces. You think special forces are so tough? No, special operations forces are. But even within there is so many factors playing into it. You have no idea. Because you were told all soldiers are equal and tough. No, they're not. There's some soldiers out there, even in tier 1, that are absolute jokes. And I've seen those guys. And I have absolutely no fucking problem saying that shit to your fucking face. I don't care who the fuck you are. Trust me. It's a very deep story behind the way I think and act and live and make decisions. How I go by my day, how I wake up, how I go to bed, how I do everything. From my food choices to the way I even make eye contact, to the way I speak, to the way I walk, to the way I stop and look around and assess the environment. Every elite soldier does it. Threat assessment. Why are you doing that? You're not even an elite soldier. Well, I have to disappoint you, but I actually am. I am an elite soldier. Yeah. Let me explain. How could a 5-year-old understand whom he's dealing with, but you don't? I'll explain it to you. For those that don't know it, I'm 25 years old. Or 25 years young. I was born in 2001. I was always into the subjects that people would rather have been interested in a few hundred years ago. Stuff like astrology, ancestral research, metaphysics, and stuff like that. So I started researching early about these things. I remember starting to research about metaphysics. My God, as early as age 19 or 20. Around that time. Maybe 21. I remember starting to research about politics at age 13. The first subject was, of course, 9/11, which was a massive hoax. You have no idea what 9/11 really was, but I'm not going to go into that. But then, something new came. While I studied astrology very early too, age 13, 14, I started at that age. Almost a decade later, or about a decade later, almost, triple facepalm. Around, I should say like 9 years later. Around 9 years later, I was like maybe 22, maybe less actually, maybe 20, 21. So like more like 7.5 or 8 years later, I started to research about my ancestors. And it came out very abrupt and fast. One of my first results was that I have Japanese ancestry. And very specific Japanese ancestry. Very specific. Some months or something would pass by, and I discovered more ancestry from a different lineage or ethnicity. A few years passed, and I was shocked to discover what I'm going to tell you now. I have not only military ancestry, I have also apparently Scottish ancestry. And according to my newest research, I even have Filipino ancestry. But it's deeper than that. I looked a little bit into astrology. And with astrology, you can find out quite some interesting things. And my astrological profile. I sound weird saying that word. Let's say my astrological chart basically says, dude, you have been powerful in other lives before, in past lives. If you believe in that, you have been a leader of men before. You have been a status figure before, in military or in public or both. You were essentially a leader before for hundreds or thousands of years. What? 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 Really? Now that I've set the preface and context for this subject, it only makes sense to follow up with the next thing. I remember being 17 and there was a man way older than me, and he saw something in me I didn't see in me. He told me, and that's the first time I got a glimpse into what people kind of think of me, or what they think I am or should be. But for the first time, possibly, in a good sense, not in a bad sense like all the other fucking shitty ass miserable fucking years before of my fucking shitty ass previous fucking life. Or, sorry, past years in this life. Okay. How confusing. So, I was at the end of my teenage years. I was 17, and all the previous years where I've heard before, hey, yeah, you don't be like this, yeah, you should do this job and this and that, and all of a sudden all that shit crap faded away, and all of a sudden I hear it from this man way older than me. Could have been my dad. That's how old he was. He was 44, 45, in his 40s. And he's like, hey, I don't know why, but I see it clearly. I'd see you as this military commander in a military unit. You telling other men what the hell to do. I'm like, me? Yeah, I think you're right about that. At 17. And my god, was I a fucking pussy whipped fucking loser and soy boy at age 17. But I had the fucking balls. And self-belief, trust in myself to say that, because I knew, yeah, of course, I have this harsh tone. I don't speak like you watching this. We in the military, we don't have this, yeah, say things nicely and yeah, and the music and no, it's take it or fuck off. I don't care how you feel. You have an order, you have a task. I asked you something. I don't care how uncomfortable you feel right now. You have to answer the damn question. Otherwise, you're out. You're fired. That's the military. And if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you think of us. I don't give a fuck what you think of me. And I certainly will never give a fuck at any time of the day, not for a single second even, whether I make you uncomfortable or not, with my harsh tone and with my intense personality and intense fucking unignorable presence. Because think about it. You're a civilian. You're used to sugarcoat things, not try to offend people, and yeah. But you are terrible at doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, which is to sometimes just be fucking quiet. And people need to fucking learn it. I had to learn it. Just because I've been apparently, according to my astrology chart and ancestry research thing, that I've just been a military unit leader of elite soldiers for hundreds or thousands of years. It doesn't mean that I do not have to learn it again in this life, because I had to. And I'm telling you one thing. I remember when I connected with my ancestors, soldiers. You have no idea what sense of power that gave me. The knowledge and sense that my brothers are gonna walk before me, before I even enter rooms, protecting me. Every step of the way, all day, all night, protecting me, guarding me, watching over me, and honoring me in my name, and honoring my duty that I've served, and me in return honoring them. It's different than from what you hear in the Psalms. And how is it? And may the Lord's angels carry you on their wings, granting you the Lord's protection, and under their wings may you find refuge. Amen. Or whatever the exact words are. Don't quote me here. Yeah, the Bible is powerful. I came way closer to God. I came way closer to God, man. I'm closer to things these days to the point that anything else just doesn't really feel real. You understand? All this simulation around you, it's not real. What women tell you they want, what you think they want, and all that crap. And what men tell themselves what women want. What people think of each other and trying to impress themselves. And it's all essentially a system we all live in. And I've seen it to the point that I cannot unsee it. I knew about it before, that this world we live in, it's not really real. It's a simulation. But that it would be to this extent, not even I knew. It took this experience where I almost died to wake me up, to shake me, to break me. Whenever I lost blood out of my left eye, I literally lost my vision, sometimes for seconds. And you are yielding around your stupid fucking weapon. Yeah, flashing your stupid guns and thinking you're tough because you killed people and shit. Because you are a Navy SEAL and you're in Delta, and I don't give a fuck who the fuck you think you are, man. You're a nothing and a nobody to me. All of you. I'm not gonna say the names, even the super famous ones, especially the super famous ones appearing in interviews. You know who the fuck you are, man. You're a nobody to me. A nobody. And I'll tell you why. And if you even think for 1 second I wouldn't tell that to your fucking face, you're fucking wrong. Does that mean I would say it to just everyone? No, because some of you guys are fucking cool. John McPhee, I love that guy. That guy is difficult to interview. And trust me, if you want to interview me, which is never gonna happen, unless I'm like looking at like some guys out there who are like really cool, like the Mulligan brothers. They're awesome. The Mulligan brothers. Or is it Mulligan or Mulligan? I'm so sorry if you see this and I mispronounced. I'm sorry. Feel free to correct me. Yo, they're cool. But there are some guys out there, I'm like, my God, I wouldn't give you the damn time of a day. You're a loser. There are some guys out there in the interview scene, in the military scene, tier 1. I'm not gonna say names. They probably know who the fuck they are. Picture it, man. I used to lead those guys before they were sent on missions. I was the guy telling them, like, listen, this is your mission. You have this task. And this is the way you complete the mission. Am I understood? Yes, sir. Good. Take your stuff and leave. Go now. Do not come back until the mission is complete. Am I understood? Yes, sir. I'll tell you one thing about soldiers. Every soldier will tell you this. The toughest thing I had to ever do was not in the military. It was outside the military. Most soldiers, even elite soldiers, are clowns. They're gonna be able to lead a 20 man unit, but they're not gonna be able to tell a woman to behave. They're gonna lose their composure. They're gonna get nervous, angry, agitated, hit her even. Police officers too. I remember when I was in Malta. And there were 8 police officers. And they talked to me. They approached me. Not all of them at once, but one of them. My goodness, it's already 4 a.m. I'm recording this video here for you. And authority figures, especially police officers or soldiers, they don't do this unless they trust you, unless they have at some level or point decided, hey, he's one of us. And that's why I'm telling every fucking soldier watching this, Tier 1, Navy SEAL, Delta, anybody, you do not compete with a guy like me. You are no match for me. I hope that's clear. I'll tell you why. To be tough is not to yield a gun and shoot people and protect lives. That's one aspect. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna go home and be depressed, be angry, not deal with your PTSD. You're gonna hit your wife, and the divorce rate is 100%. So don't tell me you're tough, because you're not tough. I'm tough, you're not. You just know how to kill people, but that's it. You're just a robot, and that's it. You're nothing more. Is there some guys in the Special Operations Force community that are seriously fucking tough? Yeah, I met one of them in person. Yeah, I'm not afraid of them. I'm not scared of them. Does that mean they're afraid of me? No, but I'm cool with them. I'm not like you civilians, like elite soldiers. Oh, they're so terrible. A civilian is more dangerous than a guy from Delta. You want to know why? Well, listen to this. Civilians are stressed out. Civilians gossip. Civilians bow down to authority, while in reality, they hate authority. Police, military. Do you know how much the police is being hated on for basically nothing? The reality is that people just are feeling so powerless around police officers, men and women, especially men, because they have so much ego. They're like, essentially they're running these mind games with themselves, like, oh yeah, he could do this, he's gonna be rude, he's gonna blah, he's gonna this. Ask every police officer, they're gonna burst out laughing because they know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Because they see that shit in you. They're like, my god, this person is assuming like some shit, like, my god, can they just behave normally? You're gonna make police officers nervous like this with this behavior. If your eyes dart around and you're like kinda uncomfortable and like, you have not done anything wrong, it's just a basic ID check. But your self-esteem and ego and stupid pride, nobody gives a fuck about, by the way, is feeling insulted because, yeah, why me? Hey, listen, kid, that guy, that man, that police officer is just trying to do his fucking job. So just cooperate. Is that fucking clear? Civilians are terrible. I remember being in a bus in Korea, and I had a misunderstanding with the bus driver. It was about the payment, because in Korea they have like the option to have like this T-money membership card for public transport and pay by credit card. I paid already by credit card, Visa, and I'm like, okay, good, I paid, I'm gonna go sit down. And he's like, hey. I'm like, what the hell does this fucking guy want? And the civilians in there, they go like, hey. Mimicking the behavior. If it would have been some elite soldier in there, he would be like chilling. He would be like, hey dude, like, I think that guy wants to talk to you. He's like, you're saying like he's, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. So I would turn around and I would check like the situation, like, okay, what's going on? The payment. Yeah, okay, I think you didn't see it, but I paid already by credit card. Ah, yeah? Okay, good. Perfect. Situation solved. That's not the case with civilians. Civilians are terrible. Civilians suck. Huh. What else have I got here? Unlike most people, I've seen humanity from all sides. I remember being super gentle and compassionate. Until I remember adjusting my behavior for people. No more. What you get to see after that, you have no idea. When you decide to be your real authentic self, not hide your American behavior anymore, not hide your American accent anymore, you're gonna see a lot of people are just gonna be like, wow, I don't like this person. And I'm like, oh, you don't like me? Ah, you liked me before. Oh, no, you never did. So fuck off. From an early age, people's framework was that they have decided for some reason, okay, yo, this kid is powerful, meaning me. I would sit with company bosses. Yeah. I was 11. I was sitting with company bosses, and they initiated conversations with me. Maybe you're getting the idea now. Maybe you're getting the idea now that I'm not lying when I'm telling you I was a military unit leader before for hundreds if not thousands of years. I was leading men for hundreds if not thousands of years, telling them what the fuck to fucking do. And if they were not listening to me, they were fired immediately. And I use this communication still today. And if you seriously do not believe in rebirth or reincarnation, then honestly, you need to fix that problem. You need to get your mind straight. It's not all science in this world, kid. Trust me. You know, quite honestly, all you know is dopamine hits, pornography, TikTok, Instagram, posting shit online that nobody cares about, craving likes and comments, admiration. So many women and girls, they want to be admired. I have a high body count, and at one point I was just like, fuck all of that. You want my admiration? Like, you just want to sleep with me. I'm kind of done with that. Because look, man, like a girl that just wants to sleep with you, she's not gonna really support you. But a girl, friend, or a wife, she will support you. And that's the girl I'm looking for. After having been with so many women and so many girls, man, like, trust me. You just want a girlfriend, honestly. After going through so many bodies. Have I had threesomes? Yeah. I had threesomes, and not just once. I had a few threesomes, and it's not that fun, trust me. Sometimes it is, but I've learned that, quite honestly, most men are a joke. Yeah, most men are a joke, and women out there have every fucking right to be complaining about you, man. Yeah, you watching this. You're not tough. You're not cool. You're not masculine. You're not dominant. You don't know what women want. You're a clown. I don't care how many muscles you have, how tough you think you are. Anybody out there, anybody, I don't care who you are, I dare you to fucking look into my eyes. So we're gonna see who's tough. Because if you cannot look into my eyes and just be like, yeah, okay, that guy's tough. Okay. I'm not afraid of him, but yeah, he's tough. If you're not able to feel like that around me, you're not tough. Because 99% of men who look into my eyes freak out. And if you think you're an exception, you're fucking wrong. Because I remember one thing that happened. I remember when I took a boxing class in Vietnam, actually a few, and I scared both coaches. The senior coach and the owner of the boxing gym, who is a Muay Thai champion in Vietnam. And I scared him. Not with my presence, but with how I was delivering punches. Why could a punch of somebody with my life story be more terrifying, energetically speaking, than maybe even some pro boxers? Mike Tyson being an exception. Mike Tyson, like, just playing around with you, like, you know, joking around, that's gonna be even more terrifying than me actually hitting you. My opinion. Nobody should ever compare himself to Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali. Nobody, not even me. Is that understood? Good. So he got so terrified by the way I hit that he like told me like, hey, like slow, and I could feel the fear. Because essentially at one point in my life I said, especially after that night actually, not before, after that night in Italy where I almost got killed, I said every punch must hit, every punch must hurt, I must deliver every punch with ferociousness, and if necessary, shall my life be in danger again, I must be able to kill somebody with one fucking punch. Let's look at the situation. Most men are a joke, afraid of women, hiding behind muscles, and then you have all these fucking stupid videos online. Stoicism, how to be alpha, the top 10 strategies, how to get laid, and all that other dumb bullshit. How to fuck every woman you want. The top 20 dating strategies. Speak to her like this and you're gonna make her addicted to you. And all that cringe bullshit. Dude, like... seriously? Anyway. I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you really want that girls are addicted to you? Because I had that quite a few times, quite many times. Do you want that responsibility? Girls being addicted to you, not being able to get enough of you. I remember what I then did one time. Maybe a few times, I don't know how many times. She wanted me so much, it pissed me off so much, it annoyed me so much, I cheated on her in front of her. Yeah, welcome to my life. Because quite honestly, what God has shown me, people like to think I'm a talker. Because you'd not expect somebody my age like dropping like some like knowledge like this, left and right, like it's nothing. And the more I told them, the more confused and scared they got. I remember telling people like, dude, like, you know, I'm friends with police officers. I'm friends with elite soldiers. Yeah, you know, those guys that go to Iraq, Afghanistan and stuff. Yeah, I sit down with those guys and we're cool. Really fucking cool. I'm not afraid of them. I would never dare challenge them. Would they challenge me? I don't think so. They better fucking not. You better not challenge me, but... But they don't challenge me. They don't. Yeah, there was this one Canadian guy who challenged me. I think he learned his lesson. Because I didn't even respond. There was this Canadian guy getting agitated around me, this tier 1 or tier 2 guy, and yeah, he was in Afghanistan. I met that dude in Vietnam and he got pissed off at me for I don't know what reason. I didn't respond. Yeah. He was probably doing his threat assessment thing. He was like, yo, who is this guy with this intense energy? This guy is like, he's a threat. Yes, I'm a threat. But only to you. In this moment. Only to you in this moment. Meaning, it's all about how you view somebody. Somebody is or is not a threat. At the end of the day, it's all in your mind, right? Not quite. Some people are a threat. Some people are not. If I look around me, what we have in this world, sociopaths, narcissists, borderline, histrionic, HPD, histrionic disorder, or histrionic personality disorder, HPD, sorry. Civilians. Essentially, at one point in my life, I've basically told myself I'm never going to be friends again with civilians. I would sleep with a female police officer, I think, before I would sleep with a solo travel fucking girl. Because they're all fucking nasty and fucking weird and feminist and all that fucking shit, and I don't want to have to do anything with that bullshit. I'm a traditional masculine dominant fucking dangerous fucking intimidating fucking guy, so I need a soft woman in my life, even if it is for one night. She better be soft. And if she's not soft, we're not gonna talk to each other, because I'm gonna feel her vibe from a million miles away. Ask every playboy, Casanova, or guy with a high body count. They're all gonna tell you the same. Yeah, dude, like, her mind games, I feel it from a million miles away. That's why I didn't even talk to her. And the moment she did, yeah, guess what? The moment she did, I walked away. Yeah. The moment she started playing me, or tried to, I blocked her. Yeah, of course, what else? You watching this, you don't do that shit. You don't, you try harder. Yeah, you see it in Hollywood. Guys going on to their knees and asking women to, like, marry them and shit like that. All of that shit is in your mind. All of that bullshit is in your fucking mind, and you think it's the right thing. You think it's romantic. It's beautiful. Just like you think smoking cigars, cigarette. God damn it. Sorry for cussing. Or for cussing this way. You think you shouldn't cuss when mentioning the word God. My opinion. You wanna cuss, but don't mention God when you cuss. Thank you. That's my opinion, yeah, right. Having their, like, cigarettes and smoking and, like, yeah, and wearing a bad boy jacket, black and stuff, black leather jacket, leaning against the wall with their shit fucking stupid boots and, like, yeah, I'm cool. No, you're not. You're a fucking loser, man. Hollywood is telling you're cool. And whatever Hollywood tells you, you better not believe any fucking thing off it. Just like the news. And this is how civilians are. News and civilians are the same. They repeat the same shit. Yeah, don't do this. Do that. Don't believe in this. Believe in that. Civilians and the news are the exact same. God showed me what's, like, going on in the world. You have no idea what's going on in the world, man. You're naive. Demons are honest. Demons will be like, yeah, we're gonna try to take your soul. Yeah, in fact, we're gonna do it right now. What the fuck are you gonna do against it? Huh? You're not gonna do anything against it because you're corruptible. I remember seeing this show. What is it? K-drama. Korean drama. I think it is, I'm not sure. In Korean, of course. And I'm in Korea now recording this. And I fell in love with it. It's basically about exposing the human nature, how corruptible it is. My mindset kicked in the next gears. I was like, damn, I realized, like, quite a lot about people, but this shit is deep. And I started to see people even more different and even worse. I started to think how meaningless most people's lives are, how worthless most people are, how corruptible they are, how easy they are to manipulate and control. Not just women. Women are way easier to manipulate and control than men. Because as a man, you need to teach women or show women what is the right thing to think and do. Because most women are like children. You were never told that. Because you have your college degree and bachelor's and master's degree and all that PhD crap nobody gives a fuck about. Nobody gives a fuck about that in business. Usually people in business, the higher they are in the hierarchy, meaning the more money they have, the less degrees they have. And from a certain point on, they have no degrees at all. I have no degrees. I don't have any PhD in NLP. I didn't graduate in college, university, whatever. I don't have any bachelor in psychology or master's in psychology. Yet I know way more about these things than even the best out there. I know more than them. 10 and 100 times more. People in Europe don't even know what CBT is, cognitive behavioral therapy. They don't even know what ACT is, acceptance and commitment therapy. Why do people in the United States of America know that and the rest of the world does not? Explain that to me. Yeah, because most of the world is clueless. People steal our ideas, business ideas, dating advice, entertainment, food, pornography. Yeah, okay, there's Canadian pornography too. A little more than American pornography even, I think, I'm not sure. All of that stuff from America is going international. That's why I'm saying if America falls, the whole world falls. There is no world without America. Am I fucking clear? You watching this? Am I fucking clear? Is my message clear? Because look, in life it's like this. You must obey God. I remember how shitty my life was when I didn't obey God. And then I started to obey God and everything improved. My dating life, the women I attract. All of a sudden the women I attract these days are way more sensual and less sexual, I think, or maybe just as sexual. And for some reason all of them have super soft hands and there is something in their eyes, something super soft. Like, they look at me, I'm like the best fucking thing in the world. Am I the best thing in the world? Yeah, maybe not, but maybe yes, I don't know. You know, I feel like these days everybody's just trying to exploit each other. People don't trust each other anymore. People are mean, nasty, rude, and cold. Whenever I go to hostels and guest houses, people usually don't greet me. They usually don't say hello. They usually don't say good night. They usually don't say good morning. People's energy and body language is just so closed off. I'm like, don't even talk to that person. It's a thing if you're American. Let me explain. As an American, you are gonna notice that. Even as a Canadian, of course, we are North Americans. We are gonna notice, but especially Americans, Canada, sorry. We are the first ones to notice. If people are closed off, body language, and just not approachable, we can just tell. How many times did I talk to people and they didn't elaborate? Yeah, I'm like, okay, man, like, what the hell? Like, I was trying to talk to you, but you don't elaborate, so you don't give a fuck about me. Yeah, okay. Fuck off then. Leave me the heck alone. Leave me the hell alone. Seriously, leave me the heck alone. Yeah. I've been now in Korea 6.5 weeks or what? And only a handful of people have talked to me. Only like 5 people. But actually talk to me, sat down and talk to me, and have spent time together, 1 person. A Canadian, who for some reason loves Miami. I made a joke, and shout out to you, brother. I think you're gonna watch this video. Um, funny situation. Um, I remember telling him, like, dude, like, like, do you know that actually you are the first one who talked to me during this whole time here that I was in Korea? Like, actually talked to me. All the others were, like, ignoring me, not even saying hello. A few of them have said hello, Koreans. They were just like, "Annyeonghaseyo," which is like the formal way of saying hello. Like, it's probably "Hi, I'm greeting you," or whatever the translation is. I don't know. If some Korean is watching this, man, do me a favor and translate that. What does that mean? "Annyeonghaseyo." I want to exactly know what that means. "Annyeonghaseyo." Anyway, there came a time in my life where, because I mentioned that thing with girls, I was just done getting sexualized. I remember this Dutch girl, and yeah, she was like quite good looking. That was in Vietnam. And at one point I just told her, like, hey, like, like, I'm like so done being sexualized. I mean, hey, look at me. I'm handsome as fuck. I'm handsome as fuck. And I get sexualized so much. It's so annoying. It's not difficult for you to get laid. Yeah, of course not. But it's a little bit difficult to find a girlfriend, son. It's very difficult. The more good looking you are, the more difficult it is. Because they have these high expectations of you. He's so handsome, so he must be perfect. And when they realize that you're not perfect, then they end up fucking leaving you. And you are there and you're thinking, like, my god, I'm a douchebag for having slept with her. Why did I even sleep with her? How many times did that happen to me? Maybe not too many times, but a few times. Anyway. And what happened is she left because she wanted to sleep with me. I told her I'm done being sexualized. I wasn't even being like that direct. Or was I? I don't know. I'm American. I'm like, it's just normal communication. I could have been 10 times more direct. I could have said, listen, like, I'm not really that into you. I'm like not trying to sleep with you. I hope that's okay for you. She was good looking. She has the body. Cute girl, intelligent, good energy, great conversations with her. Blue eyes, curvy, thick. One guy was dumb enough to not want to sleep with her, right? No, one guy was intelligent enough to not want to sleep with her. Moi. Exactement. Moi. Is it exactement? I don't know. Which is supposed to mean. God showed me that people are gonna underestimate you a lot. And it's not your job to make them realize that they should not underestimate you, because I've wrote an article about that on my website, or a blog post, whatever you want to call it. People's assumptions and why they are dangerous. It's not your fucking job to fix their assumptions about you. Because we all, yeah, me too, we have assumptions about people, and they're not always right, but they're also not always wrong. Anyway, not going to spend more time on that subject. Yeah. There's the link on my channel page here on YouTube. If you want to read that, click the link on my page here on my YouTube page, YouTube channel. It's going to lead you to my website, thetravelingmatrix.com, and you're going to find the article there. I might even link the article beneath this video, and maybe a few more. People either want your money or your time, or they want to benefit from spending time with you. They want to like get to know things. People are lost, man. People are more lost than ever. Everyone is kind of feel like looking for a mentor these days. Yeah, modern dating is fucked up. You honestly don't know how much God can do for you unless you hit rock fucking bottom. Unless you hit rock bottom, you have no idea. You're so clueless, you're so naive. Because, look, you're in this world and assuming everyone is your friend and that women are evil or can never be evil, both is wrong. It's not like that women are evil. Women are not evil, but they can be evil. They can be very rude and mean and nasty. And one myth is that women are more clean than men. That is practically, logically, and absolutely in every way impossible. I remember talking to this host or owner of a hostel in 2024 around September or October in a Mediterranean country, to be exact, in Portugal. And he told me, hey, you are right. I've been working here for 7 years and, dude, I've seen girls being so nasty and so dirty. They are not more clean than us guys, no chance. Is there exceptions? Absolutely. But there is the exception to the rule and whatever. No. Why do people even say that? You don't even know what that means. Everyone gets it wrong. There is the exception to the rule. Get your terminology straight, please. Communication is very important. World travel is a tool. It's a tool for self-discovery and transformation. To transform your life, potentially even the life of other people. You're gonna see into people's minds and lives so much, it's gonna make you not want to be around them anymore. Girls just are so normal. Girls are so normal. They take a shit too, they masturbate, they want sex too. They take their shower. They sometimes just want to sit down and be left alone too and just look at the sun. They're not these special beings, you were told. And nothing, not even those years of mentorship or whatever you want to call it, where I had a mentor. Not even that is even coming close to the things I learned while traveling the world. What my former mentor taught me, Orlando Owen, is maybe 10% of what I know today. Maybe 10%. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how much I had to learn in the past 12 to 18 months? In the past 12 to 18 months alone, man, I was put through hell. My life was hell before. But how terrible it got the past 12 to 18 months, not even I knew that. It all actually started December 31st, 2024, when people tried to fuck up my New Year's Eve, the switch from 2024 to 2025. So at that time, 2024, to make the switch into 2025, there were like there were some shitty people drinking and like being losers and whatever and whatnot, being indecisive. I had to make the decision and be like, okay, listen y'all, you obviously are not making a choice. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna enjoy my New Year's Eve. Whoever gets to come with me, good. And honestly, fuck the rest. Me and two older dudes who could be my dads. One is like 53, 48, 49, 50, 51. Both like 50 or almost 50. One from Slovakia, one from Poland. We get into the car. The guy from Slovakia drives us, me and the man from Poland, to a really cool location. There were quite some people there and it was so awesome. Unfortunately, the guy from Slovakia didn't return because he went back to pick up the others. Turns out they didn't come with him. They decided to stay there. He decided to stay there. So I was like, okay, whatever. And it was so amazing. Like, it was cool. It was just me and him. But there were like strangers hugging me and wishing me like a happy new year and all the best and whatever. We went to eat some kebab. It was amazing. We talked to these like British people. Me as an American, and and he's technically British. He's from Poland, but he's living in the United Kingdom, Britain. Like, and these ladies, these women, also like they're British, England. It makes me want to hug them again. It was one of the most beautiful moments of my travels. I think they even gave me a kiss or two on the cheek. Yeah, I think they kissed me on the cheek. Yeah, they were 65. Oh yeah, it has to be a 32-year-old or 24-year-old cute girl with big boobs and to appreciate it. I'm sorry, but what? Whatever. Essentially you need to understand that karma is coming for everyone, and God showed me. And that guy who did that to me, and the police who are supposed to investigate the case, who did not arrest him, that guy that almost killed me back then, on that night in Italy. I'm pretty sure he got his fucking karma. And those cops, those miserable, shitty fucking police officers, they're gonna get their fucking karma too, motherfucker. Trust me. Start educating yourself early, seriously. Read. Be in nature. Ignore people for a bit. Forget parties for a bit. Make money. Build a business. Work on your self-esteem. Get yourself out of this tourist matrix or traveling matrix we live in. Both is synonymous. Tourist matrix, traveling matrix. You're stuck in it. These days I step into rooms. And when I step into these rooms, I dominate them. People adjust themselves around me. Like, all of a sudden everyone is more quiet, or very quiet, or totally quiet. All of a sudden people get more respectful. Yeah, you think I'm joking when I tell you that I'm an ex-tier 1 military elite soldier unit leader who's done this probably for fucking decades, hundreds if not thousands of years. I could prove it to you right now with my astrology chart. My former mentor told me something very interesting a couple of years ago. He said, prayers only work for those that believe in them. Meaning, whether you're gonna believe this is up to you or not, it's still true. A prayer works nonetheless. But you believing in it, that's what gives it power. That's the same with your energy. You step into a room. It's your energy, your facts, what you think, your emotions that are the driving force, the engine that impact the people around you. And I go into rooms thinking yeah, I'm a chill guy, but I'm fucking dangerous as fuck, and do not try me. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter. You've been in Afghanistan, in Iraq. You've killed hundreds or thousands of people. It doesn't matter to me. Because you have not sorted out your emotions. I have. And that's why I'm more dangerous than you. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna trigger you. Yeah, no. Because you were told that you need to fear people that can hurt you physically. I believe otherwise. You need to fear people that know you better than you know yourself. And I know you better than yourself. I know soldiers, elite soldiers, firsthand, in person. Yeah. And I never had to go into the military, in this life, at least. Not in this life. To be able to see them firsthand, in person, and see who they really are. You think they are those dangerous guys, 6'3", 1m90, 6'4", 6'5", sometimes, my God, sometimes 7 foot, 2m13 or 2m16 or whatever it is. 150 kilos or 320 pounds or whatever it is. They're not those terrifying guys you think they are. They're super humble. Some of them have like this like teddy bear energy. You're like, I just want to hug this guy. I just want to give this guy a hug. He's so funny. He's so warm. He's so chill. He's so like humble. He's so cool and chill to be around. But then you see his eyes. He gets silent. He has this look in his eyes when he speaks to you. Or when he's listening to you, actually, I should say. Even more so when he's looking at you. He's constantly checking his environment left and right, looking at your hands. His eyes are always darting around. Yeah, his eyes are always darting around. He's always paying attention. I have the same nervous system, just 10 times faster. I'm going to say something very controversial. I am able to assess a situation faster than those guys. Yeah. Faster than them. I have to. Why? They're supposed to be reading threats, environments and stuff. I go 10 and 100 and 1,000 times deeper. I'm the guy reading energy. I can feel when somebody's coming from like 100 meters. When somebody is approaching from 100 meters, I can feel it already. Because I feel the energy. Meanwhile, they might be able to feel the energy of the person at 50 meters. I can feel the energy at 100 meters and more. I can feel when somebody's looking at me. Because I said to myself at one point in my life, I need to become so terrifyingly skilled at martial arts, it's gonna terrify other guys who are terrifyingly skilled at it. Because I'm done fucking fighting, I'm done having to prove myself, I don't want to do it anymore. And if I had to go through the absolute worst in life to become the man I am now. Yeah. Where do I begin with? You might ask. I had to say no to girls. That was a big one. I had to say no to threesomes. Yeah. Oh, what? Yeah. I had to say no to threesomes. Yeah, but you already had threesomes. Yeah, but I had to say no to quite a lot of threesomes. Because I had the level of compassion. Sorry about the fucking truck in the background. I had the compassion. For it. I remember being in a club back in the days when I was still going out. And there were these two girls being into me. Yeah. And they wanted a threesome. That was just maybe 8 weeks after that traumatic experience I had where I almost died in Italy. And they had this look, and I had to say no. Of course. Imagine if you have PTSD and you sleep with somebody. There's gonna be an energy transfer. I remember having sex partners that messed up my energy, sometimes for days, weeks, sometimes for months. And then I had to cleanse and clear my energy with incense and chakra cleansing. You don't even know what that is, but anyway. It was not easy. But I had to do it. I developed compassion. I didn't have compassion before. I didn't know what compassion is. I always wanted to be the first one. I had empathy. Empathy means you feel what other people feel. But I didn't have compassion. I was a dick. I was a bad person. I didn't know what it means to accept a no from a girl, from a woman, from when an older man, way older man than you, tells you, dude, don't do this. Listen to me, don't do this. I couldn't accept it. I was too arrogant. I was full of myself. I was a dick. I was a piece of shit. I was thinking with my dick all the time. And it got me into a lot of trouble. And I had to get over it. I had to actively train myself for 1 year in many things. Not just in the sense of saying no to women and not sleeping with them and whatever. Have I had sex the past 12 to 18 months? Yeah, not that much, but of course not. I had to go through healing, for a lot. I needed so much time for myself. And before I was in Malta, a big choice came. It was April. I was in Italy, and just about maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks before I left Italy. It was like the beginning of April. I think April 7th was the exact day. I just decided I'm gonna leave Europe. So I left Europe, and then I was in Malta, and then one thing led to another. Then this magic truffle trip came, and my life just started to shift immediately, completely overnight, in a matter of 1 to 3 days. And this is the man I am now, but there's way more things that happened. So let's get into it. I want to say that God is gonna find that guy who did this to me. If I'm not gonna find him, then God will. Trust. These days, groups piss me off. Party people piss me off. Almost everyone I am around, meaning when somebody enters a room in guest houses, hostels, in public spaces, when somebody walks past me, it just pisses me off. Because there are so many things going through my mind. All the knowledge I acquired or have built about people, it just kicks in immediately, man, The moment somebody walks past me and makes me feel uncomfortable, the first thing that's going through my mind is, well, it's not even one thing, it's a million things. And it's making me restless. It's making me angry. It's eating so much energy. I have to spend so much time alone these days to still heal from the PTSD. I still have not fully healed. It's not easy to live with this. These days I'm around girls, and when I feel that they are horny, it makes me angry, because it just reminds me of that old life I used to live, sleeping with as many girls as I can. Oh God, I had days in my life where I went through not just one, but 2, 3, 4 girls in a day. The most amount was I think it was 3 or 4 girls in one day, not 24 hours. In I think 4 girls in 6 hours. 4. Yeah. My life was not that nice, man. My life involved not eating really nice food, but getting left out by all the opportunities that I'm enjoying now. I got laid left and right, but many other things weren't right. I wasn't right. I was not really happy. I was happy when my dick was inside a woman. But when my dick was not inside, when it was not in a woman, when I was not inside a woman with my dick, I was not happy. When I was not getting female attention, female validation, and mother love and all that shit, because my mother complex was unhealed. I've healed my mother complex these days, luckily. Years later, my God. I used to eat Vietnamese food in the Czech Republic instead of Czech food. I used to not really give too much of a fuck about where I eat, what I eat. Didn't really feel like going to the gym. I used to use my phone a lot. I used to go into malls, craving female attention. Sometimes I would just sit there on purpose with a boner. Of course, I was wearing something. I was not naked. I repeat, I was not naked. But the girls liked it, and it was ha 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 and he and giggles, and eventually that passed too. I know this goes well beyond 12 to 18 months of what like the video idea is, but I feel like I should I feel like I should mention it still nonetheless. So yeah, picture it how miserable my life must have been, and how much work God had to do on me, in me, and externally what's going on around me. My life is totally different. It's not the same anymore. I don't think the same anymore. My habits have shifted. These days I just want to like get work done, eat healthy, wake up early, go to bed early, and enjoy life to the fullest. My life doesn't have to be filled, at least at the moment, with sex. It doesn't have to be filled with sex. In fact, I don't want to have a lot of sex at the moment because look, it's so much energy. It's so much energy. It's so much energy to talk to people. There was a time where other men, they were talking to me a lot. It was at a time where I was giving out a lot of advice about women and girls, like, just the things that I know, or I should say discovered about women myself while traveling, because I know the things that like my former mentor taught me, and okay, yeah, cool, but not that I shared any of that with other men. I did not. But what I did is, so I kept it for myself, but what I did is the things that I learned myself about women, and I took notes about that. I have still the notes, man, like it's 200-300 pages. You have no idea. And I was sharing that like left and right with other dudes, and they would just never pay for it. I was like, my God, like you guys suck. Like you don't pay me for this. Like why would I share things I discovered myself about women? Why would I continue sharing this with you? So when I started to realize that was in January 2025. So that was like, what, 1.5 years ago almost. I was like, my God, all of a sudden no guy talks to me anymore. All those dudes that were talking to me before, they're gone. They're not talking to me anymore because they were using me for information. How disgusting is that? I just realized at one point in my life, I fucking matter. I don't know if you matter. You need to decide that for yourself if you matter. But know one thing, kid, if you decide that you matter, it's gonna piss off a lot of people. You obviously matter. That's why God created you. But, there's the saying, have faith. If you were to have the faith of a tiny little puny mustard corn, can you imagine how much you could move in life? How many obstacles and people that stand in your way you could just like remove? Yeah, you don't know that. How much you can achieve. Look how much I achieved in these 12 to 18 months. And I'm like what? Half into the video. These days, like, I command respect and attention wherever I go. Because I don't look for it anymore. I don't look for the same things anymore. I go into a room, I sit down, I take my honor tablet, I start getting work done. Honor tablet, honor notebook, whatever you want to call it. I pull out my phone, and I get to work. I start working, writing articles, recording videos. I pull out my microphone when I record videos. Yeah. My eyes, they don't dart around anymore, looking for female attention or looking for other guys with whom I could potentially make friends. No. Work and money and self-respect and eating healthy and just living life to the fullest, because I've not taken time for myself. But yeah, the years before, like parties and alcohol and smoking weed and getting laid left and right, having threesomes, it burned me out. All the years where I said no to myself, it accumulated. Yeah. And I had to heal it. I'm still healing it. I'm still healing from it. You have no fucking idea, man, how many things I had to learn. You have no idea. I remember telling a Brazilian guy in 2024 in Portugal. I remember telling him, like, yeah, can you imagine I used to be a very bad person? That was in 2024. So we're talking almost 2 years ago. It was like September or something, or August 2024. And he was like, no, I cannot imagine that. I was like, yeah, that's crazy, but thank you. I take it as a compliment, because it obviously is. Imagine what people would think now if I would tell them about my story in life, like 5% of it, 10-20% of it. They would be terrified. And I'm pretty sure you're terrified by now. If not, that's your problem. You know, I've done so many things, man, in life. I hugged girls naked. Yeah, I hugged girls naked. I had threesomes. I was always smiling. I was very manipulative. Yeah, I was always trying to like maintain good energy, stay on a good frequency. But why? Yeah, because usually there was a girl I wanted to sleep with and I didn't want to like mess it up. And I know that like if I get angry, like I'm not gonna really enjoy the sex, or maybe she's gonna say no, and or maybe sometimes I didn't want to ruin someone else's mood. It would mean I would like, it would mean, or it meant, if I was angry or sad, I would not sit near somebody. These days I don't give a fuck because I don't know the person. Because you've been taught you should respect people no matter what, but especially based on like age and status and what they look like and what they wear. My world doesn't work like that. If I don't know you, I don't give a single fuck about you. Is that understood? Is that clear? We have no business. If I don't know you, I don't care about you. I don't care what you went through, or it doesn't matter to me. Because you're not family. You're not, like, you know. Look, you need to think. You need to think like this, all right, kid? If it's not family, not your uncle, aunt, grandfather, or dad, or mom, or grandmother, or girlfriend, or wife, or husband, or boyfriend, why are you giving a fuck about somebody? And yeah, my Scottish accent just came out a little bit. I told you I have Scottish ancestors. I can even understand a little bit Scottish. I'll tell you something in Scottish actually. I dinna ken. Which means I don't know in Gaelic. In what? Gaelic. Yeah. People in Scotland speak Gaelic. I dinna ken. Yeah. Yeah. You should see what kin You should see what kin I'm made of. Pretty sure that it's very clear by now what kin I'm of. I'm of Scottish kin. Since I have Scottish and Japanese ancestry, an Eastern European family, but I am American. And apparently, according to my latest research, I have ancestry also from the Philippines, meaning Filipino ancestry. That makes a tough warrior. Even the strongest would fear, and actually do fear. Yeah, some of them are not alive anymore, like those from the Holy Roman Empire. But trust me, even they would fear me. And by my look, if you were to judge, I look Greek. I hear it quite a few times. Not too many times, like, well, you look Greek. I'm like, yeah. And it's a fucking compliment. Greek men are the best looking men in the world. I'm not even into men, I'm into women. But even I need to say, Greek men are handsome as fuck. Just as a little side note. Okay, I guess we'll take... The terrible truth about being a handsome man is that we enter a room and people start smiling. People shift around us, the whole room shifts. Parents, they want us to marry their daughters. You think I'm joking, I know, but I'm not. Handsome men, we are very good at manipulating people's and especially women's emotions. At one point I just said, okay, I see this is my nature, but I must yield it righteously. Spoken like a true Scottish person, by the way. Yeah. You're jealous because you're not Scottish? Yeah, I would be jealous too. Scottish people are awesome. People envy us. God showed me that people envy us. Like, God showed me, like, look, man, you're handsome and people don't like you because of it. Women easily attach themselves onto us. How many times have girls that I just met told me, hey, I want to be your girlfriend? I'm like, what? I'm like, no, thank you. We just met, I'm good. Thank you. I wasn't that straightforward, by the way, but I would be these days, without a doubt. I got to discover my own dark nature. If you think these guys out there, these killer machines have a dark nature, think again. Then you don't know my dark nature. I got in terrifying touch with my dark nature for the first time in Malta. So I just finished this magic truffle trip. It was like 8 or 9 weeks, or maybe 10 weeks after this traumatic night incident where I almost lost my life. And that was this guy from Turkey, like 6'3", 180 pounds. What is that in kilos? 180 pounds, like 85 kilos or something. He was talking shit about something. I was like, dude, like, whatever, fuck that guy. Just talk shit back. He gets mad at one point. He's angry. And I tell him, like, okay, let's do it, man. So you want to fucking fight then? Let's fucking do it. He was punching so slow. I don't know how the fuck I didn't see the punch coming. Another guy I underestimated. He hits me, breaks my sunglasses. Fast forward, nobody came to help me, while I was basically in a kind of chokehold. And just when I was about to whoop his ass and hit him in the liver or kidneys 1 time or 2 times or 3 times, I don't know the exact amount of times, but I think it was like 1 or 2 times, one of his friends, and he had 3 friends with him. One was quite muscular, but a little shorter than him, comes from the back, from behind, choking me. I almost pass out. After that day, I'm telling you, after that day, I turned my back on people forever. Everything changed after that night. Because you cannot imagine what dark fucking thing he awakened in me. I remember bleeding and yelling at him and shouting. Police nearby. Not intercepting. Police just 500 meters. Police 250 meters. From us, 250 meters. Maybe 200 meters. And I was shouting and yelling. They didn't come to intercept. In Malta. And I shouted and yelled. Hey man, this is not how we roll in America. Come back here. We're just getting started. This fucking fight just lasted 20 seconds. He never... What does that mean he never came back? Well, his friends were holding him back because they knew he would get his fucking ass kicked and he would have spent his fucking night in a fucking Maltese hospital. That's what's up. Fucking cowards. And nobody around helped me. Fucking losers. A handsome man. We usually carry a dark past. We are usually very intelligent. And we are very smooth talkers. These are like some of the things I also learned about myself, about life. Well, not about life, but about myself, yeah. I had to I had to learn to control my focus very intensely, be very intentional about certain things in life. And honestly, I'm grateful for that, for the fact that God has done that in my life. Because if I look at how much I have done for people and how little they have done for me, and that's basically all of them are not American, I just came to realize the most important thing in my life is not to make money or to sleep with a lot of women or to enter rooms and like scare everyone and dominate everyone in the room and whatever. To not mention 10, 20 other things, but just to give you an idea about certain things that certain people care about. My most important task as an American is to tell people who are not American to just fuck off. The most important thing. For my fellow Americans watching this, you must tell non-Americans to fuck off. It's important. Let's go to the next point. So remember when I mentioned Malaysia? Let's get into it now. That was around October or November 2025, so it was last year. And there was this really cute Malaysian Chinese or Chinese Malaysian woman in her 50s, really cute and beautiful, and her energy, wow, so soft, so feminine. Wow, really experienced. And she and her husband opened up newly at that time their accommodation, their guest house. They were in business for 3 months at that point. And for some reason, I'm having a deja vu right now saying this to you. Almost as if I've spoken those words at some point. Almost as if I knew I would be sitting here now, recording this. That's crazy, by the way. Anyway. I don't know if you believe in synchronicity, but if not, study it. Carl Gustav Jung is a great source for that. Maybe not the only source, but maybe one of the better ones. Maybe one of the better sources for it of information. Audiobook is like 10 or 11 hours about synchronicity. Or what is there? Man and his symbols is also a good one, I think. Anyway, just as a little casual mention on a Sunday, because it is Sunday, I think. It is Sunday indeed. 5:25 a.m. Still recording for you. My God, been here already for I think 3 hours. Goodness Christ. And yeah. And she told me, my God, quote unquote, I think exactly the exact words that I'm going to say now. My God, you are so productive, so humble and so quiet. I see you always working and you're not disturbing anybody. Nobody ever said anything like this, not even close to me ever before in life, not even in Europe, especially not in Europe, especially not in Europe. People were actually disturbed and annoyed and got pissed off and mad at how quiet and humble and just focused I was on work, on myself, on my own life, and just getting things straight. But it pays off. It pays off to do this inner work, this internal work. You have to. At one point, life is going to force you. God is going to tell you, like, dude, like, you either do this shit now or I'm gonna show you. And who the hell are you to show God? You ain't doing shit. It's kind of like a fucking dork, a fucking dog barking at the fucking moon. What, the moon is gonna like move or shit? And you think I'm gonna move for some girl or guy that tell me like, hey, you're taking up too much space? Like, I remember that shit actually happening in a fucking club in April or May 2025 in Malta. And those girls, super short, they were thinking like, who the hell is this like 6'1" or just under 6'1" guy to fucking take up so much space like with his fucking height, and who the fuck does he think he is? And they just straight up told me like, hey, can you like move it a little bit, like we don't have any space. Bleh. What the fuck, duh? Is that my problem? I'm American. I love taking up space. Especially in a beautiful woman's life. Anyway, let's get to the next point. Let's go on. The show must go on. Yeah, so she asked me, how do you do that? How are you so productive, humble, and so quiet and so focused? And I told her, yeah, she ended up giving me free matcha and a free totem bag, like some small pouch thing. And yeah, that's it. In Malaysia, in Ipoh Perak, to be exact, I think. Looking back at that moment, I was shocked, because how could someone say that to me? Maybe I'm not that big piece of shit I am. Fast forward, I used to not be comfortable sitting near girls, near women, without even having sexual facts. I would just think about sex all day, all the time. A girl sits next to me, oh, maybe I could sleep with her. Not even thinking about if she could have a bad personality, possibly. Oh God, triple facepalm. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm telling you. I used to be a bad person. I used to be a miserable person. These days, I just feel super comfortable sitting with girls in silence, and girls just crave sitting next to me and near me, sometimes for hours. And I feel so comfortable, and as do they. Because there is not this like stupid fucking sexualization going on. It works against you. Thinking about sex all the time, my fellow men watching this. Alright, folks, it works against you, man. As nice as sex is, if that shit is on your mind all the time, it's gonna burn you out, trust me. It burned me out. And how many girls have I been with? Like what? 100 or what? Oh god. Not even counting all the girls I rejected. Not even counting all the women I rejected. Anyway. What else has shifted? I changed my diet. My back muscles that already are very strong and very prominent without much exercise, sometimes with zero exercise. The last time I was in a gym was like fucking 6 weeks ago, I think, or 5 weeks ago or whatever, or 2 months ago, I don't know. So they have become more strong, more prominent. I've become stronger. In fact, yesterday or 2 days ago, I tried doing a muscle up. Never practiced doing muscle ups, and I was able to actually do it, not completely, but halfway. Anyway, I became more flexible. My boxing became really good, really fast. But here's what's very interesting. My boxing became really good very fast, even though I never took any boxing classes. I had like only 5 boxing classes in my life. 5. Okay, 5. 5 boxing classes. Out of those 5 boxing classes, I'm gonna tell you what happened in one of them. In 2 of them, sorry. In one boxing class, the boxing coach, when I told him for how long I've been doing martial arts, he was like, oh, wow, oh. Soon after, he was like admiring me. He was like, oh, wow, this guy's like, whoa, oh my god, he's like so good. Yeah, not really. People who practice martial arts, they don't show admiration like that, or respect, I should say. I don't really like the word admiration. It sounds kind of weak to say or use that word. It's a word that weak people use. Validation, admiration, attention, all that shit. So, and I'm not a fucking weak person, at least not anymore, and I will never again be a weak. If you think I'm gonna be weak again, think again, because I'm never gonna be weak again. I can't. I cannot go back to the loser I was. I cannot be weak again ever. And if somebody's gonna hurt me, I'm not gonna show them. I'm not gonna let you fucking see that I suffer. You're not gonna see it. Even if I suffer inside like a lot, you're not gonna see it. But that's the level of tough I've become. And it's fucking awesome, honestly. And I see him like observing like my skill and whatever, and him like kind of like giving like a nod, like, oh wow, good, nice, and whatever. And yeah, silent admiration, and not this loud admiration, like, oh my god, you're so good. And maybe there is a time and place for that, like in a boxing match, but not that I mind, but whatever. And here the incident that might terrify you. I think I already mentioned it with the 2 boxing coaches. All of this was in Vietnam, this boxing coach too. So 3 boxing coaches. So One in one gym, the other one in an actual boxing gym, the other one was a hybrid, the first story. Second story, already spoke about it, but we'll elaborate a little further on that. I remember when I told you how I train. I train with the intention of every punch must hit, be precise, and every punch must hurt. And in case my life is gonna be in danger again, I'm gonna have to kill somebody with one punch. And I'm not joking, I would fucking do it. So there was this Muay Thai champion that trained me. I took like 2 or 3 classes. At the other gym, I took 1 class. And he got terrified at one point. I was punching so fast. I was punching so fast at 80% speed. He couldn't keep up with me. What's so terrifying about this? I never had any boxing classes other than those 3, 4, 5 boxing classes. I never even took any MMA class. So, how did I become so good? If I had no coach? I don't know. It's one of the things I look back at and it terrifies me. Because you'd think I'm not feeling fear anymore. I don't feel any fear looking into your fucking eyes. I don't care you're a Navy SEAL or fucking SEAL Team 6 or Delta or... I don't care. You're not scaring me because I'm more man than you. But honestly, there is some things that still fucking scare me. Of course. But afraid of death, afraid of dying? Not anymore. I remember when it started. When I started to prove myself bit after bit to police officer, customs, elite soldiers, to women, to myself, but most importantly, to God. I remember when a customs officer pissed me off at the airport, my PTSD got so strong that I was like, dude, I'm gonna rip this fucking passport out of that guy's hand. Because why the hell are you asking for my name? Like, you see it on the ticket. He's looking at my old picture. And he's confused by how different I look now in comparison to the picture on the passport. He's like, huh? This is you? What is your name? Here in Korea. And I rip the passport out of his fucking hand. I'm like, dude, don't ever ask me that question again. Do you understand me? You see the ticket? Look at the fucking ticket. Yeah? Good. And never ask me that fucking question again. Well, he probably told you after to like apologize. No. Oh, he probably called for some help or threatened you or got you into a room and strip searched you. No. He just let me go. Of course. I'm of higher authority. Of course. Remember what I told you about my past life? Yeah. Good. Think about this. I used to be stuck at 750 to 850, meaning 750 to 850 at the boxing machine. My punching form was terrible. These days I hit over 950 at the boxing machine. In fact, my record is 979. I've seen guys 30, 40, 50 pounds or 20, 25, 30 kilos heavier than me, meaning like I'm like 70 kg. These guys 85, 90, 95, 100 kg. I hit harder than them, way harder, and with more precision. How could God compress all of these changes in 1 year or 12 to 18 months? Well, commit yourself to God. When I said I commit myself fully to the Lord, I'm open to change, and I remember exactly when it happened. I recorded it actually. You can find the video still online here on my YouTube. It was a holy moment. And after that, everything changed. What should I tell you, man? I'm at a point in my life where I have built multiple streams of income: Patreon, YouTube, my own website, PayPal, whatever you want to pronounce it. Most people cannot even build a business in 1 year. Look at all the things I've done, and we're still not done. We are still not done. We're just getting started. I started walking away from toxic people, toxic environments, hostels, guest houses, eating at peak times in restaurants, ordering food, because I realized how bad it is if you order food because the restaurant always pays a fee. They always pay a commission. What else? I kicked out all of my friends out of my life. Right now, at this moment, I have no friends. At the moment of recording. Yeah, I have no friends right now. And honestly, I've never felt any better before. I've never felt any happier before. Honestly. Friends are such a burden. Friends are such a burden, you have no idea. What else do we have? I started cutting out distraction one after the other. I started moving different. People picked up on it, obviously. You will notice fast that people will sense this person doesn't belong to our squad. He's not like us, she's not like us. I just flipped it. I was like, no. It's not that I'm not like you. It's you are not like me. My former mentor Orlando Owen told me, I am not in here with you. You are in here with me. Rorschach, I am not in here with you. You are in here with me. I switched that too. I was like, no, it's not you are in here with me. I'm like, I am in here with you. Yeah, I am in here with you, and I don't like anybody of you. Meaning, I'm not the nightmare. I'm not the problem. You are the problem. You are the nightmare. You are the issue. You are the mental health case. I'm not. And honestly, I never felt any stronger and better than I feel now. I was never more lovable and have been never more loving than I'm now. Right now, I'm like, my God, I make a great boyfriend. I'd make a great husband maybe a few years from now. But looking 2 years into the past, even 1 year, even 6 months into the past, I'm like, dude, I would have not want a girl to be in a relationship with me back then. Looking at how I was, how tense, how stressed out, how angry. I remember going to the gym and how much I used to cry after every workout, because I would think every time about that night. Thinking, what if? What if I would have just kicked his ass? What if I would have just sent him into the hospital? But in my case, it was me. My presence has never been more intense than now. Yet at the same time, people have never ignored me more than now. I came to realize that I just need to leave the house, and I'm met with really low IQ individuals outside of the house. You just leave the house and you're met with individuals, with people that really annoy the shit out of you. Sometimes I head out, just get food, and just come back, and I'm so happy. The more you spend time with people, the less you want to be around them. Is that clear? I hope that's clear by now. You're gonna see very fast, and I've seen it, that if you get to know people enough, you will see how bad people treat each other, the mind games they play, and that they actually secretly treat themselves, or each other, I should say, like peasants. It sucks, but it's the truth. For some reason, people have stopped testing me. They don't really test me anymore. I don't know why. And those that do test me are met with immediate challenge. I'll tell you a funny story. I remember one Korean guy when I was in Busan that tried taking money out of my wallet. He was the owner of this restaurant. Instead of just telling me that he doesn't have change, that I have to pay the exact amount, the absolute exact amount in cash, he just reaches for my wallet and tries taking out the bills. I was like, what the fuck is that guy doing? Because his English was bad. It was in the morning, it was 9 or 10 a.m. He was stressed out. Okay, I get that, but you just don't do that. It's not okay to do that to anybody. You understand that? So I didn't smack him, but I smacked his hand. I smack his hand, and he's like, oh. You should have seen how much he respected me after. This man was probably like 56. He and I were still, we were still cool after. We were not arguing or anything. We were still cool after. You don't need to fight. If you fight, you're weak. If you're in a room, and in that room, you're the toughest guy, either the guys around you are just fucking losers, or the guys around you are just so fucking tough, you would not think they're tough. The toughest guys, they don't go around boasting, flexing and whatever. The toughest guy does not have to be 6'5", 260 pounds. There's guys who are just 5'10" or less, and only 200 pounds or less, and they're way tougher. There's guys 150 pounds, 5'7", and they're more tough than a guy 7'2". Think I'm joking, think I'm exaggerating. You don't know people if you don't believe me this. But I've seen stuff like that actually. And not just once, but multiple times. I want to ask you one question. Can you imagine how much energy you lose every time you enter a room and you try to signal to everyone how dangerous and intimidating you are and that people better not mess with you? I remember doing this in the past. I went into every room trying to signal to everybody like, hey, Big Daddy is here. Big Daddy America is here. You all better watch out, don't piss me off. And these days I'm like, whatever, I'll just get in here, fucking eat, and then leave and fuck off. And that's it. Yeah. Welcome to my new life. Okay, just checking for battery. Because I've been using this microphone already for quite a bit, so I don't know how much battery it's still got. Maybe 1 more hour. More shifts. My martial arts skilled life has taken the next level. I started doing boxing and MMA. Pardon me. Before that, I was doing other things. I was doing Wing Chun. I was doing Muay Thai. I was doing Krav Maga. But then I started doing boxing. I never had a coach. I became really good really fast. I was really scared of my martial arts abilities for the vast majority of my life. I'm scared of the ferociousness of other guys, like that they could hurt me, but that was not the case. What actually was the case is I was afraid of my ability to hurt somebody so much. I was afraid I could get into trouble for it. And usually when I beat someone up in my life, I usually got into trouble for it because they were complaining like, "Man, you hit too hard." And I was like, dude, like he talked shit. He was rude. He attacked me first. The hell am I supposed to do? This kind of logic, you know? And that was way long before I started to even travel. What else we got? Okay, this might surprise you. It's been a long video so far, I know, but 3 a.m., middle of the night. I'm up. I'm in Korea, putting in the work for you. I have better shit to do. But since we're at the end of the video, the rest of it is going to surprise you a little bit. Picture this for a second. I used to be the guy that would bring people together. I would bring guys and girls together. We would get dinner, lunch, go have fun. Of course, I'm American. We're the ones organizing the fun, the parties. Yeah, but guess what? At one point, people just didn't give credit. I was like, yeah. Might be the sign. It might be the sign to just say, okay. Maybe pick American people. I will talk to a Canadian before I would talk to anybody else. Of course, Americans too. Picture this. I'm this handsome guy who, for whatever reason, would get free drinks from other guys. In return, I would give them advice about how to get laid. This has been ongoing. I've traveled 3.5 years almost. And this crap has been ongoing for 2 years. More or less. January 2025 hits. Something's different all of a sudden. I meet a guy from Ireland. I meet a guy from Denmark. And all of a sudden I retreat. Like a crab. Like a Cancer, for those who are into astrology. And I'm like, what the hell? Like something's different. Picture this. This guy, a little taller than me. Not that I'm short. I'm just under 6'1". This guy is 6'4". Big guy. Musician. Not some lame Joe or something, but some musician. Not that famous, but... And he goes like, yeah, tell me. And I was like, tell you what? 2 days pass and I'm like, okay, I can't possibly make the same mistake again. I can't. I'm not a douchebag. How long have I been doing this for? One thing leads to another and we're not talking anymore. Then I meet a guy whom I have even more disrespect for. or a distaste, as the Brits like to say. A guy from Denmark. This guy, picture this, some dude who just quite frankly spit into the face of guards, prison guards. He straight up told me, I'm like, okay, why the hell am I hanging out with that guy? Huh. I mean, yeah, I thought he was chill and stuff, but I was like, yeah, okay, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. This was the first day. A day passes, we exchange opinions and this and that. One thing leads to another. Okay, sounds wrong. One thing leads to another, to put it that way. But what I'm trying to say is, one thing leads to another in the sense of me coming to the conclusion, okay, wow, okay, this guy is even worse than the other. Like, I thought the other guy is terrible, but this guy's worse. So the other guy actually was still, like, ready to hang out, right? And the other guy is just like, oh yeah, thanks for the knowledge, but like, yeah, I gotta leave. I was thinking about some words I'm not gonna say on camera. And that's essentially when the pivotal shift happened. I was like, no more. I'm this handsome guy who advises even other handsome guys on how to get laid. I've done it for basically 22 months. 22 fucking months. And at one point I was like, every guy, just fuck off, man. You wanna know? Pay me fucking money. You better pay money good. Interesting thing happens. 99% of men fuck off all of a sudden. Don't wanna hear from me. Don't wanna talk to me. Like, no more free drinks. No more, hey man, hey, what's up? How you doing? No more, hey, what's up, bro? None of that. Everybody just fucks off all of a sudden. I thought things couldn't get worse. Because things got worse as the travel journey has afterward progressed into Italy, into Malta, into Greece, because I went back to Greece. I visited Greece at that point twice. I went into Greece for a third time. Must have been May or June. Then the big shift in Greece. I realized I need big financial kicking in the gears kind of shift. So, it happens. It happens.